back. Now we will discuss some reasons for changes in botanical nomenclature or names of taxa. There exists widespread and legitimate dissatisfaction among professional botanists, foresters, and others interested in the study of plants that plant names, both generic and specific, change very often. This is their usual complaint or complaint against taxonomists. They are thinking that taxonomists frequently change names, botanical names, both generic names and specific names, species names, and even family names. And this has led to the common but erroneous idea that systematists or taxonomists have their main object the upsetting of well-established name. Upsetting of well-established name. It is rather disheartening to find that the old familiar names by which a particular plant have been known from ages is suddenly shifted to another genus or within the genus changes the specific epithet. So this is fair for these people, professional botanists, horticulturists, foresters, etc. And one of the reasons for the frequent name change is by the application of rule of priority. According to the rule of priority and according to the principle of botanical nomenclature, each family or taxon of lower rank with a particular circumscription, position and rank can bear only one correct name, special exceptions being made for 9 families and 1 subfamily for which alternative names are permitted. So for 9 families and 1 family subfamily, alternative names, that is 2 names are permitted, except in all other cases only 1 name is permitted at a time. For any taxon from family to genus inclusive, the correct name is the earliest legitimate one with the same rank except in cases of limitation of priority by conservation. That is the above examples, 9 families and 1 subfamily. And these families are composite and these families are given alternate names. As per ICBN or ICN, rules of botanical nomenclature, every family name should be based on its type genus. But these families shown in the left side are not based on the type genera, and the endings, the family name ending should be CEAE, and these are different. But these families are conserved because of their wide usage. The plants of these families, they are either of having high economic importance or they are having high diversity. So these names of these families are conserved, and alternative names as per the rules of botanical nomenclature are also given. So this taxa at the rank of family, at the level of family, possesses 2 names each, composite, and the alternate name is Asteraceae with the type genus Aster, Cruciferae, alternate name Brassicaceae with Brassica as type genus, Graminae with the alternate name Poaceae and Poa as the type genus, Getiferae with the alternate name Clusiaceae based on Clusia, Labiaceae, Lamiaceae with the type genus Lamium, Leguminosae, Fabaceae with the type genus Faba, Palmae, Ericaceae with Erica as type genus, Umbelliferae, Apiaceae with Appium as type genus, Papilionaceae, that is when considered it as a separate family from Leguminosae, that is having alternate name Fabaceae, that is when considered sensu stricto, that is in the narrow sense. When it is considered as a distinct, that is the subfamily Faboideae is treated with the family status. Then the type genus is Faba, and the subfamily Papilionaridae with the alternate name Faboideae. So these taxa have two names each, and these taxa are exception for this rule of priority. So by the application of rule of priority, many commonly used names are changed in time. And another one is by new combinations. And when new combinations are made between two genera, here also the rule of priority applies. And this taxon, and it was named by Linnaeus as Cassia alata. Later, Roxburgh in 1832 included this taxon under the genus Senna. Then the specific epithet should be followed in the new genus. So the new combination will be Senna alata, and this is known as double citation. Double citation is the representation or the practice of writing the name of author or its abbreviated form after the botanical name. And in the case of double citation, when a taxon is transferred from one taxon, for example genus, to another genus, then the specific epithet should be retained in the new genus. Then the name of the author who originally published the species is given in parentheses, followed by the author, name of the author or its abbreviated form after or who effected the change. That is, writing the name of the author who originally published the specific epithet, and that is followed, that is given in parentheses, and that is followed by the author who effected the change, and this practice is known as double citation. So when Cassia alata is changed its genus, that is when it is transferred from Cassia to Senna, then new name must be Senna alata, because here rule of priority applies. Similarly, when Daturus saviolens, which was published in 1809, is transferred, when it is transferred to a new genus Brugmansia, then the name should be Brugmansia saviolens, and the double citation is given. Then Justitia adalodagam, and this shows the nomenclatural history of the species. Adathoda vasica, this name was commonly used very recently, until very recently. That was published by Nies in 1832. Then Adathoda ceylanica, published in 1790. But Linnaeus, it's in 1753 itself, it was published under the genus Justitia adathoda. So the correct name of the taxon must be Justitia adathoda. Credit goes to Linnaeus, because it is the earliest legitimate name available for the taxon, published in 1753, and other names were published later in 1790 and 1832. So this name has priority over these two names. Then for the change of nomenclature or names, mainly there are two reasons. One is nomenclature reasons, and the second is taxonomic reasons. When we apply the rules of nomenclature strictly, the name sometimes change. That is nomenclature change reasons for name change. When the taxonomic means when we study or when due to the development in biological sciences, by the advancement of biological sciences, new informations were added. Informations regarding its morphology, its cytochemistry, genetic material, etc. Then phylogeny, when the phylogeny is known, when the relationship is more clear, then taxa may split into more taxa, or sometimes many taxa may unite to form a single. Then name change occurs. So these are the major two set of reasons for botanical nomenclature changes. Nomenclature reasons by the application of strict applications of ICBN or ICN, then by advancement in biological sciences. First comes nomenclature reasons by the strict application of rule of priority. The rule of priority, though originally intended, the rule of priority was established to bring the nomenclatural stability, to bring stability in nomenclature. But it has itself become a major source of instability. So one of the major source of reason for instability in botanical nomenclature is by the strict application of rule of priority. So when we apply rule of priority strictly, many names must change. Let us see the history of the nomenclature of this species, that is Canscora. Canscora, actually this is Canscora passiflora. It is very common in our area. But Myctew included this species, this Canscora passiflora, and under Canscora diffusa. And according to Myctew, all these are synonyms of this taxon Canscora diffusa, Gentiana diffusa, and this Canscora diffusa is based on Gentiana diffusa. This is a new combination published in 1818. The original publication was in 1794 under the genus Gentiana diffusa. And these authors transferred this species from Gentiana to a new genus Canscora. Then another combination is Hexacum diffusum. Then another name is synonym is Orthostemon erectus. Then Canscora tenella, that is nomen nudum. Canscora decurrens, Canscora passiflora, Canscora lowi. All these names were included under, or many of these are different because they are having different types. And this passiflora is very distinct from the old Canscora diffusa, but Myctew, based on molecular analysis, included under Canscora diffusa only. And this is Canscorinella, we have discussed earlier. Earlier it was published under Canscora stricta, but in 2014 China and Nambi and Shahina transferred this species Canscora stricta in a newly erected genus Canscorinella stricta, because the definition of Canscora is not matching with this taxon. That is, the Canscora is typically having zygomorphic flowers. The petal is not symmetric, but it is having bilateral symmetry. But it is very clear that
this petal is having radial symmetry and the arrangement of stamens. So this taxon does not fit with the definition of Canscora. So they erected a new taxon or new genus, Canscorinella, and they shifted two species, Canscora stricta and Canscora bettiana, to this new genus. So there are two new combinations under the genus Canscorinella, that is Canscorinella stricta and Canscorinella bettiana. So the name changed, Canscora stricta changed to Canscorinella stricta. It is a new combination. And taxonomic reasons. Name changes due to the advancement of taxonomy. Detailed studies using modern methods very often results in the splitting of larger genera or lumping, splitting of larger genera into two or more species, or two or more genera, or lumping of two or more species by clubbing of different species or different genera to one, which also ultimately lead to name changes. Changes in the understanding of the interrelationship, that is phylogeny, ancestor-descendant relationship of the taxa would lead to the recognition of more natural units, which naturally lead to changes in established names. So this transfers based on phylogenic relationship or understanding of phylogeny and splitting of genera or species, lumping of genera or species lead to name changes. The strict application of the principle of priority has in recent years caused many name changes in plants that were well known by botanists and other plant specialists. You can see some examples. Croton's passiflorus. This name was commonly used until recently. A common weed in the plains of Kerala should now be called Croton bomblatianus. So that is the correct name now. Then Phlomis biflora, that is now Leucas biflora. When transferred to the genus Leucas, should be called Leucas biflora. Then the presently known Rauwolfia serpentina. Earlier it was Ophiocylum serpentinum. When transferred to the genus Rauwolfia, should be called Rauwolfia serpentina. So these are new combinations, changes of its genera. So new combinations are formed. Then regarding effective publication of names. Publication is effected under this code. This code means ICN or ICBN by distribution of printed matter through sale, exchange or gift to the general public, or at least to scientific institutions with generally accessible libraries. So this is the condition for effective publication. We are told that effective publication deals with the medium in which or by which a new name is published. Publication is also affected by distribution on or after 1st January 2012 of electronic material in PDF format, portable document format, in an online publication with an International Standard Serial Number ISSN or an International Standard Book Number ISBN. We have discussed this under the changes in Melbourne Code. What are the key decisions taken in Melbourne Code? That is a new rule which was effected from 1st January 2012. So this is a general condition for effective publication of names. Publication of name is affected only by distribution of printed matter through sale, exchange or gift to the general public or at least to botanical institutions with libraries accessible to botanists generally. It is not affected by communication of new names at a public meeting by just announcing the name at a public meeting. By placing of names in collections or gardens open to public, by the issue of microfilm made from manuscripts, typescripts or other unpublished material, or solely by distribution electronically or through any electronic medium. Just by publishing a name in a website or in any electronic, by email or like that in social media, it is not affected. It is affected only either by printing in a journal with ISSN number or book with ISBN number, or in PDF format with ISSN or ISBN number. It is not affected by communication of new names in a conference. By placing names in collections, for example, in botanical gardens, in herbaria, by the issue of microfilms or illustrations like that, or in any website. It is affected only by distribution of printed matter or by distribution of PDF format with ISSN or ISBN number. Publication is not affected by communication of nomenclatural novelties at a public meeting. The Article 30 says, by the placing of names in collections or gardens open to public, by the issue of microfilm made from manuscripts or typescripts or other unpublished material, or by distribution of electronic material other than as described in Article 29. So these are some of the journals in which taxonomy journals in which new names are published. Then regarding the dates of effective publication, the date of effective publication is the date on which the printed matter or electronic material became available as defined in Article 29 and 30. In the absence of proof establishing some other date, the one appearing in the printed matter or electronic material must be accepted as the correct publication date. Then there is effective publication, the valid publication. A name published in accordance with the Article 32 to 45 of ICBN, that is validly published. A name of a taxon has no status under the code unless it is validly published. A validly published name can only be treated as legitimate or illegitimate. So to treat a name either as legitimate or illegitimate, it should be validly published. Should be published in accordance with the rules of ICBN. So in order to be validly published, a name of a taxon must be effectively published. So effective publication is a condition for valid publication. Should be composed only of letters of the Latin alphabet. So botanical names are permitted only in Latin language. Have a form which comply with the provisions of Article 16 to 27. That is, these articles deals with the names and ranks of different taxa, species, genus, family, order, etc. Then Article H6 and H7, that is naming rules regarding the nomenclature of hybrids, that is Article 6 and H6 and H7. Then should be accompanied by a description or diagnosis, Latin diagnosis or English diagnosis, or by a reference to a previously and effectively published description or diagnosis. That is in the case of new names published instead of old names or invalid names. or in the case of new combinations. In such cases, a reference to an earlier published diagnosis only is needed. Then should be comply with the special provisions of Article 33 to 44. So these are the conditions for valid publication of names. In order to be validly published, a name of a taxon, autonyms accepted, that will be discussed later, must be effectively published on or after the starting point date of the respective group. Means when a species is published, its higher group, that is its genus, should be published earlier. Should be composed only of letters of the Latin alphabet, except as provided in Article 23.3, 64, 67 and 60, 11 to 14, and have a form that complies with the provisions of Article 16 to 27. In order to be validly published, a name of a new taxon must be accompanied by a description or diagnosis of the taxon, that is Latin diagnosis or English diagnosis. That is according to Article 38.
Diagnosis is the characters those distinguish that species from the related one. Diagnosis and description are not the same, although diagnosis may be a part of description. So diagnosis is a part of description, but description include all other characters also. So both these are not same. Diagnostic characters or key characters are the characters by which that particular species or taxon can be distinguished or identified from the related one. And Latin diagnosis was mandatory till 31st December 2011, and after that either Latin or English diagnosis is mandatory. So Latin diagnosis is a brief statement of distinguishing characters or the diagnostic characters of a taxon in Latin from its close relative. The diagnosis of a species or infraspecific taxon may be very short, merely a statement of one or few characters not possessed by the other species or the related species of the genus. A name of a new taxon published on or after 1st January 1935 must be accompanied by a Latin description or diagnosis. So this is a publication of a novel taxon, a species Rotella malabarica by Pradeep et al. And this forms the Latin diagnosis. Statement of the characters, key characters by which that particular species, that is Rotella malabarica, is how that can be differentiated from the close relative of the species, that is Rotella malamburensis. So Rotella malabarica is combined with the Rotella malamburensis because that is closely related to that species in its general form and characters, its habitat, etc. So compared with the Rotella malamburensis, and the Latin diagnosis of this species means how Rotella malabarica is different from Rotella malamburensis, and that characters are stated in Latin language, that is Latin diagnosis. And in this publication you can see different components as per ICBN, and this deals with effective publication, that is the species or the taxon is published in a journal with ISSN number, that is Botanical Bulletin of Academia Sinica in 1990,
And this is the species name, Rotala malabarica, followed by author citation, Pradeep, Joseph and Shivarajan, and the status is specified, and that is must. At which status, at which rank the new taxon is published, and this is species nova, specifica nova, new species, and this is Latin diagnosis, and this is the statement of type or citation of type, and the specimen is collected from Payangadi, that is Madaipara, and this is the holotype, and that is deposited at MS, Madras Herbarium, Coimbatore. Isotype, its duplicate is available at Calicut University Herbarium. So these are different common, and this is the description, vernacular description of the taxon, and this is the Latin diagnosis, and this is another one, new species of Nymphoides from the same locality by Dr. K.T. Joseph and V.V. Shivarajan, and published in the Audit Journal of Botany, that is effectively published and validly published because it possesses many components, and the publication is based on the rules of ICBN, and this is the binomial Nymphoides Krishna Kesara. This name is Latinized. Nymphoides means similar to Nymphea, Krishna Kesara with the dark or black anthers. This is all the citation, Joseph H. Shivarajan, and the status is stated here, species novum, and this is the Latin diagnosis, then citation of the type. Type is, the holotype is deposited at Madras Herbarium, and its isotype at Calicut University Herbarium. This is the description. Thank you.